We're here with Canton Mayor William J. Healy II, and last night probably wasn't a surprise to you, Mayor Healy. Probably learned about it earlier, but for public purposes, it became known that there's a $4.5 million shortfall on the under the expectation of what the bids were going to be, or over, I guess, 4.5 million over.
Let me help you with that.
Okay.
Whenever you put a project out to bid, the engineer will put an estimate on it, so that we know what the expected bid range is going to be, and then the bids will come in sometimes below, sometimes over, and if it's more than 10% over the engineer's estimate, then we typically don't have the authority to approve. We would have to go back and readdress the bid or rebid it. What happened is obviously the bids came in and they were about $4 million over and change the estimates from the engineer, and so obviously we couldn't accept the bids, and so then we had to literally sit down and go through line by line to find out why there was such a big differential. The difference came from really two or three different line items on this area. One line item was the cost of concrete. There was, I think, about a $1.7 million difference on the concrete work for this stretch of road. And what happens is the state actually puts out a bid sheet with a price line that our engineers use as well as the bidders use. It's basically kind of like a commodity market price point. And that price changes over time. Well, when the engineer put our bid together, he used the price that was listed, and then the cost numbers changed, and then the bidders bid it with the new cost number. And we know that because we prepared a document a couple weeks later for another stretch on Mahoney Road, and our numbers were actually with the current state bid on that one, but the ones we did were the old state bid. And so the timeline changed literally sometime from when we prepared our bid to when it was actually got returned from the bidders. But that created a $1.7 million gap that was not anticipated. Another one was the fact that they anticipated it would be a 2-year project. When the bidders bid on it, they realized that they couldn't get it done under normal conditions in 2 years. So they would either have to pay extensive overtime to rush the project, or they would have to pay penalties for not getting it done in time. And so both bidders actually put a number, and I think, again, don't hold me to exact numbers, but I think it was about $500,000 to $1 million that were both companies put in there for rushing the project. Although we'd like it to get done early, we're not requiring it to be done in 2 years, and so there wasn't a reason from our end that we put 2 years. It was just that we thought that was the amount of time our engineers thought that. So when you factor that out, that will reduce $500,000 to $1 million on the bids, making the gap closer. And then there was a third issue where we had an either or. We need this or that, and both companies that actually did bid it put this and that and bid both items. And so we only needed one or the other, not both.
How much money are we talking about?
I think it was in the hundreds of thousands, maybe $500,000 in reference to that one. So again, that will adjust the number significantly as well. So when you take that and/or issue out, and you take the timeline issue out, that reduces it, $1.5 million or more. And then obviously the 1.7 cost of concrete, that's a 1.7-ish. When you add all these up, it really justifies the difference from where we thought it was going to be to where it was. So we at least know why it was off.
And where are we factoring all of the items you just went over?
So where we are is this. We had thought with opening the bids that we would be starting the 12th Street portion of the project in about July. Well, obviously, we can't even accept the bid yet, so we're going to have to go back and readdress some of the stuff and then go back to bid. Some of the state funds, and let me put it in perspective, this project is about, I forget the exact number, but about a $19 million, $20 million project. Maybe it was 26, but it's a $20-ish million project. The city's portion is about $2 million, or almost about 10%. The rest of that money is coming in from federal highway funds and grant money and other resources that we go out and raise money for it. And so what we're talking about is $2 million of local money that's going towards a $20+ million stretch of land. And so we're getting a lot of leverage with our local tax dollars. A lot of these grants and programs from the highway funds are based off a percentage of your project. So some of the stuff that we submitted based on a $12 or $13 million project, the state gave us our percentage. Well, if the project is really going to be 15 or 16 million, our percentage number could be higher. So we're re-requesting to the state on some of these numbers. So we expect that some of this money will be made up based on the 90%, and we'll have to come up with a 10. So $1 million difference could be $100,000 for us and $900 for the grant. if they do that. So
what's the timeline on all this?
Well, I don't know. Dan Meglin is the one who heads all this up and communicates with them. He's going to be following up. He's already submitted the request, and we expect that we'll know within weeks, not years or months. So we think that if we get some of the stuff that we think we'll get and anticipate, that'll get us closer. We're also got a couple of other sources we can go to that we're going to have some conversations with and see if we can generate a different source of revenue for this because of the size of the project. Kind of puts you in different categories. And we'll know within maybe 30 days. You should see realistically 30 to 60 days where we could rebid it. But keep in mind, if we back it up 60 days to bid it, and then you have to wait another 30 days to receive the bid, and then another so much to award it, start it, and all that stuff, you're now talking late summer or fall, and on best case scenario, and that's why literally when I got the word Wednesday afternoon, I heard there was some issues. By Thursday morning, we had a conversation about the 12th Street between Cleveland and Market, which is just a disaster. And I don't know if you made it to council the last couple of weeks. We talked about maybe we do a temporary pave,
right?
And we rolled that out only because the temporary pave would be down for 60 days or less, and then it would be tore up. And we thought, $50,000 or $60,000 for 2 months, put up a couple cones and warn people, and you live with it. But when this thing gets backed up to 6 to 9 months, in addition to that, now you're talking really 8 to 12 months before we're going to get to 12th Street. Literally the Thursday morning when we got the details of the issues with the bid, we made the decision to immediately contact the paving companies and do a skim coat, leveling coat on Cleveland, on 12th Street between Market and Cleveland, to schedule it immediately. I literally went down to Desert Inn, who's one of the main businesses on that strip, and went down and personally told him, listen, I told you we were going to get this done in a couple months. It's going to be longer, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to put a smoothing coat on this and try to at least make this road usable while we get there. And obviously he was pleased that we addressed it, but at the same time he knows that it then eventually is going to get tore up and rebuilt.
Okay.
But
and that's going to start soon, right?
Well, yeah, we had we not had to at least, if we didn't have a conversation with council last night, we could actually start it today. They were ready, so we're waiting now for the next day opening. So it could be this week or early next.
I see.
But in any case, that stretch, and I don't know if you've had a chance to drive on it. It's pretty bad.
I haven't driven on it, but I look to my right.
Oh, you need to just drive on it. Go out of here on Cleveland Avenue.
Right.
Leave here on Cleveland Avenue and cross over on 12th Street and go up Market. It's like going to Cedar Point.
Well, for viewers who might not be familiar, could you just give us a thumbnail sketch of what the 12th Street Corridor project is?
It is. It's a 3-phase project, and it includes 12th Street from Mercy Hospital, the 77 exit, and Serpentine Hill, and it comes up through past Fulton Road, past Cleveland Avenue Market, all the way down to like Maple and to Minnesota Park. And then the Mahoney Road Corridor project starts from there. And these are collectively, it's about a $40+ million renovation. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to be adding, if you've been downtown Canton, like on Market Avenue, and you'll see what they did on the streetscape, where you got the brick intersections, the real nice sidewalks with the bricks on the corners, the decorative lighting. Essentially, that's what's going to happen on 12th Street and then through Mahoney Road. You're going to have bike trails, walking trails. Well, not walking trails, but the bike trails with the sidewalks, called sidewalks in the city.
Right.
But you're going to have brand new sidewalks, curbs. You're going to have the decorative lighting. You're going to have the bike trails and the new roads. But and many people know that our roads are built over old brick roads that were built over dirt that was built over horse whatever. Anyway, those things have over time create a lot of instability, and that's one of the reasons we've had problems on the paving. Is you pave it, but the sub conditions aren't stable, and then you've got dipping and issues that come very quickly. So what we're doing is we're literally going to be removing all those bricks, putting in a new 6-inch base coat like you would if you're putting down a new road on top of that, and then you put your top coats and finish it off, and it will have the decorative curbs and streetscape. So it really is going to be a major gateway from the highway all the way to our eastern border when you collectively get this done. So it's a beautiful, exciting project, unless you have business on that road and you're waiting through the construction period. That's not going to be so.
So how important is this project to the future of Canton?
Well, it's extremely important. Obviously, it's a continuation of what we started downtown. It's a continuation of the bike access lanes. It's a continuation of a welcoming entrance into our city. If we want people that are passing through or coming in for a Hall of Fame event or just visiting the city for a day or a weekend, we want them to have these wonderful gateways to come through to see the best of Canton and hopefully want to stay stay and be here and live here and invest here and understand and tell the story of Canton being a wonderful city. And if we don't have that welcoming opening gateway, we get the questions of, oh, is it safe to be down there? Should I go to Canton? I'm not sure. And it's really about perception, it's about reality, and really it's about our future. This is an incredibly important project. Keep in mind, from 77 all the way through the Mahoney Road border, that's going to be $40+ million. The city of Canton's cost is going to be about $4 million. So this little change, and I don't mean to sound like it's insignificant because it is very significant, this change in reference to the cost being higher than what we thought, it slowed us down because it changes our whole worksheet. But we're going to figure it out, and we're going to come back and get this project done, because when you look at our dollars being leveraged, of $2 million being a $20 million project or $4 million being a $40 million project, that's a lot of value for us, our commitment to make this project happen, and we're going to make sure we get it done.
But I mean, it was $4.5 million, and you point out very well how some of those numbers are not real numbers. But there's still going to be some money that has to be raised, correct?
Yes, there'll be an additional cost, and as we determine the difference, like Dan Megan mentioned last night, this is a 3-phase project, and it could turn it into a 2-phase project, and then in 2 or 3 or 4 years we come back and do the 3rd phase, because it's going to take a couple years to get it done anyway. So by the time it's in its finishing stages, we may be in a position to come back with more dollars. But we'd like to be able to have it all budgeted when we start, and we did. But the numbers didn't match up. So it's just one of those things. I mean, as you know, when we did the water reclamation, it came in $6 or $7 million below the estimates. This is $5 million above, and so one day you celebrate, the next day you cry. Okay. But it's just part of the process. They're called estimates because you don't know what people are going to bid. You don't know, for example, the exact same bid 3 or 6 or 8 months earlier could have been significantly less because it was under the old asphalt number or the old concrete numbers. But also, if you did 2 years ago when the recession was here and nobody was working, their margins on these bids were really low because they needed a job. Now everything's busy. We got personally lots of projects. The economy's well. The workers are out there. The union halls are empty. There's a lot of projects going on right now, and it's supply and demand. And when there's more work going on, they bid higher margins. And when there's less work, they bid lower. And so this is a cost of an issue that, hey, the economy's doing well, and therefore the cost of doing these things goes up as well.
Not to place blame, but was this problem a city of Canton administration problem, or is it the state of Ohio administration problem?
I don't necessarily want to point fingers in reference to, if things happen. I think Dan Meglin, last night, he said, hey, look, this was an engineering estimate issue. We missed it. The numbers changed. We didn't catch it before we sent our bid out. We used the old numbers, and therefore, that was a part of it. They also missed the timing of it in reference to their anticipated 2-year project, and when really it's probably a 2.5-year, maybe closer to 3-year project.
They being
the engineering, yeah. And so
department?
it was a city issue. And,
okay.
Again, it's our as the mayor, it's our responsibility. It's the city's responsibility to get these things as close to it's an estimate. You want to get as close as you can, because again, if the bids are more than 10% above our estimates, we can't even do the project, and we have to go back and restructure it. So it's about checks and balances. Our people calculate what they think it's going to be, then the market will come in and bid it. And sometimes they're near our mark, sometimes they're below it, sometimes higher. But when it's off by this much, we knew there was an issue, and it allowed us to go back and research and find out what it is. And part of the issue was ours, part of it was the bidders, and we're going to fix it.
Well, of course, knowing Mayor Healy's going to dig into this, and you never want to see this kind of problem again, right?
It's already been done. We found out what the issue was literally within the same day the bids came in. We sat down and went through line by line and found out what the issues were. I got briefed Thursday morning, and we're addressing it and going to take care of it. And obviously, Dan Megan has been just one of the most talented individuals in the city for years. Since I've been here, he's been one of our top.
So you have a lot of confidence
total
in him?
Confidence in him. And, again, it's him and his team and us and our team. We all make mistakes, and, I've made 1 or 2 along the way, and it happens, even to the best of us. But, it happens. The point is we got an unbelievably talented group down there. As soon as they discover what the issue were, they're fixing it. And not only that, but they're going back to the market to find more resources to make sure they can find a way to make it happen.
Okay.
So they're very confident, and we'll get it done.
Okay, thank you very much.